Hey James, how you doing? How you been doing? Been kicking it? How's abracadabra? How's work going? Oh, good. Oh, you're at work. Oh, good. She's doing great. That's good. She feeling better? Oh, okay. You mean like painting on the interior of it? Fixing it up a little bit? Hey Stephanie, how you doing? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, welcome to employment, huh? I mean, if you work at a place long enough, that's bound to happen. I did that for a while when I was going to college. Drove a shuttle bus to the airport. I really liked it. Oh, physical therapy. Oh, good for her. Good. You mean classes to be a physical therapist or getting physical therapy yourself? Oh, good for you. Oh, 60s diner. Yeah, that'd be cool. They've got a diner down in Hilton Head like that. Hilton Head Diner. Looks like the 60s. They had quite a few of those around the country for a while. I don't see them as much as I used to, like an old like Airstream trailer, but turned into a diner. There's another one up in Ann Arbor too. Something Diner. It's been there forever. What the hell's the name of that place? I mean, every place is getting so Fleetwood Diner. Look up Fleetwood Diner, James. Google it. Fleetwood Diner in Ann Arbor. I think you'd really like that. Oh, getting physical therapy. Oh, good for her. Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's a nice one. You'd like it. I mean, it is like that in Hilton Head. Look it up, Hilton Head Diner. But I think the Fleetwood cooler. There's a million of those in New Jersey too. They have lots of diners. I've been messing around with YouTube too much lately. By the way, I got my case reversed. I beat it in the Court of Appeals. So my appeal paid off. Yeah, I got lucky. I mean, I never thought I'd have to appeal to begin with, but it ended up working out. I didn't get everything, but I got a lot more, a ton more money, and there's no way out of it. In an appeal court ruling, unless it's just something egregious, which it's not, they consider it malpractice to file for a rehearing. So I think I'm home free. Only got about 15 days. I ought to be getting paid off in about a month or two. Which I mean, it was about the money. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you'd like it. Yeah, I think you'd really like it. Fleetwood Diner. I've been there a bunch of times. You know, when I went to Eastern Michigan University, which is right down the road from University of Michigan. You know, like blue collar, a lot of people worked. It wasn't like going to U of M at all. That's a worldwide recognized school. Mine was just kind of like not that big a deal, which is why I got in. But they were saying back then that Ypsilanti, which is where Eastern Michigan University is going to was going to be Ann Arbor someday. It just never happened. In Ann Arbor was always a definite cut above. I mean, nice. But it's gotten to where 15 years ago they wrote an article in the Ann Arbor News, and maybe it was in the Wall Street Journal, where physicians couldn't even afford to live in the city limits anymore because of the cost of housing. It's insane. I mean, you get a lot for your taxes, but if you don't have kids in a public school system, I mean, it's crazy to live there. It's crazy expensive, and the traffic is just an ass kicker. It really is. It's just amazing to me how expensive it's getting. I was in the Dollar General the other day, and the lady was telling me about all the people moving in around this area. Properties are already going up. And they put them, you know, it's weird. It's a broke county, right? But they put a moratorium on those chicken plants, those places that raise chickens at different stages of their life, which I'm glad they did. But it doesn't make any sense if you need tax dollars. I mean, this county barely gets by. I mean, this is kind of an anomaly out here. There's probably like 30 deals like this in the whole county. It's nuts. I haven't done a chat in a long time. You know, Fridays are typically bad days for chats anyway. I mean, the way I look at it, if people come on, great. If they don't, that's okay too. Hey, Kelly, how you doing? Yeah, it did. Got reversed. It only cost 10 grand too, which is nothing. Some major glaring errors in the attorney that I hired. I would have got a lot more if that fucking idiot would have hired another expert, which I'm not done with him yet. Yeah, Daisy's sleeping down at my feet. I've been on the rampage all day. Hey, Bulging Battery, how you doing? No, they're not. No. And what you see is what it's going to be. That's it. Everything linked to the bridge and where it dumps out off I-75, and the rest of it's just going to say crappy. You know, I'm not exactly sure what they're doing over there in Delray, unrelated to the bridge. You know, I think it's and you still got Zug Island there, and I'm not sure what's going on there now. With this judge, Common, this is the most overturned judge in Palm Beach County. Just a bitch and a half from the beginning. Just rude. She keeps running unopposed. So, you know, I don't think the people that vote for her, she's Jewish, which is a big Jewish population down there. Probably why they posted in the synagogue and they vote for her whether they know anything about her or not. But she sucks as a judge. Luckily, she got transferred. If she didn't get transferred, see what it gets remanded back to the court, and they have to do an equal, equitable distribution rather than railroad me and screw me like they did last time. They don't have any choice. The Court of Appeals is calling the shots. They're just not going through the procedural crap to make it happen. So she really has no choice. But I don't have her anyway, so I'm not worried about it. No, it's not completed. It's not open until the fall. It's not completed. No, it isn't. Yeah. I wish that attorney I hired, you know, I'm not done with him yet either. I'm going to tell that guy, he's going to be bitching about some of the complaints that I'm going to raise about what he didn't do. Well, that's tough shit. And if he had any balls, he'd come up on a YouTube live and discuss it with me. rather than sneak around and make up shit on a telephone call. If he's got any nuts, he'll come and discuss this with me in front of some people. I wish I could get that judge on here too. Fine with me. Oh, good for you. Oh, good for you, Bulging Matter. Hey, friendly guy, how you doing? Yeah, I'm all for discussing things right out in the open where people can watch. Hey, Clay, how you doing? Okay, that sounds good. Yep. Yeah, just come by. Just come over there no matter what, even if I'm not here. I had a shitty day today. Fucking car. You know that damn I love that car. But it's easy to leave the lights on, believe it or not. There's no warning light. I wondered how long I had them on. I didn't turn the switch all the way off, so the parking lights were on. And I went out last night to do something, saw them on. I turned them off. Wouldn't start this morning. The battery's 7 years old, so I don't know how much you know about batteries, but when the plates are that shot, it won't accept a charge. And the highest I could get it to is 55 when you wear an old battery down that much, and it would crank a little but wouldn't fire. So I'm going to have to fuck with that Sunday. But I didn't get to go anywhere today, but I'm glad I didn't because I got a lot done. Basically, my discipline sucks when it comes to that. So it kept me at home. I finished about a bunch of things. Then I dropped the damn lava lamp. Then I smashed my toe carrying a cabinet. Then I put this 420-pound dresser in my bedroom by myself. What the hell else did I do? Fucked up some other things. Smashed my toe. I got a lot done, but I was on the rampage all damn day long. That's why my voice is raspy. Yeah, I'd like to stuff this battery up somebody's ass and they can recycle it that way. It's like plastic. It costs more to recycle them than it does make new ones. Oh, he's new today? Yeah, get rid of friendly guy then. Yeah, get rid of him, Stephanie. No new accounts. He's about ready to drop some bomb of shit. No, I don't believe it. Yeah, well, no, we're not taking any chances. If you were watching the interviews, you'd realize that I haven't done a new one with a prostitute in over 3.5 years. So now you're just going to come on and start chatting tonight? Not happening. Bye-bye. Yeah, piss me off. Nah, I thought about doing it, but you believe me, I'm careful on that. Then I'm putting that old rosewood antique bed together, and somebody did some half-assed repair where these like metal hooks hook into the end. I'm just getting to put the last one in, it busts out. So I got to go find a piece of wood, get a circular saw, cut that, screw it in. Hey, Meeser Mom, how you doing? Yeah, getting old sucks. Yeah, I am clumsy. You're right about that. What else do I want to tell you about too? This fucking YouTube, man. Now, when I put those songs on, like with cloud videos and stuff like that. Look, you guys know this if you've been around for a while. I tell it like it is. And I know it probably comes across as rude or something like that, but you're never going to catch me in a lie. I've said it a million times. I don't want anything from you. I'm not trying to screw the women that come on here. I'm not trying to trick anybody. So I just tell it like it is. If I had to get a job or ran for office or was trying to impress somebody, I wouldn't be able to talk all this shit. But I do it. I get a lot of nasty emails too. But anyway, the point here is when I first started on YouTube, I was just uploading my stuff, looking at it myself. I never thought in a million years anybody'd watch. And the whole way through, even during the interviews, I could have cared less if I had viral videos. It's just, to me, it sucks in this culture that everybody's measuring stick on YouTube is how many subscribers you have or how many views you get. It's so bullshit, man. There's so many great channels out there that don't get any views. Just put a lot of time into them. So Tweety, she does a cruising videos. It just puts tons of time. She told me one time she puts like 50 hours into editing her videos. It's insane. I mean, there's people out there that really, from A to Z do everything right, and it just doesn't matter. So part of that is I just keep. I don't care that like people like try to flatter me, or these old hags come on here and they think because I'm an older guy that I'm going to be interested, and you couldn't be further from the truth. Just no, and it's not happening. There is no woman that's ever going to set me up on YouTube. Not happening. So you can give up right now. You're wasting your time. I'd rather watch porn than look at obituaries. I mean, dating sites of people my age. Hey, Frida, how you doing? Is Frida another... Oh, good job. I don't know what she said, but good job. Good job. They're probably out gangbanging. My guess would be gangbanging. Yeah, who cares? Get lost, Frida. Fucking loser. Hey, block that bitch, will you? Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, well, believe me, I'm hard to be around. I mean, like today, if you'd have been around me, you wouldn't have said that. It's pissed off, man. That's why I scream at the top of my lungs. Oh, they sure will be cashing him. You better believe it. I wonder where that loser Robin is. Boy, she shut her ass up, didn't she? Yeah, I was looking through. I had some of that stuff today. I don't know where the rest of it is. I'm gonna do a Robin parody, a Rita parody. Oh, good job, great job, really on it. And what else am I gonna say? I bought some more property around here. Yeah, property's going up. So here's the, I go through this day to day. I do know this, and that is if you don't like do something, like successfully, like a business or provide a service, like I was a private detective my whole damn life, right? Time off doesn't mean much, and I like fucking around here and I read my books and I go get coffees and things like that. Hey, Crunch and Munch. But you feel better when you do something successfully. I mean, you could think, well, yeah, why don't you just and I go back and forth with this constantly. I probably got 10, 15 years left. I'm having damn stomach problems again too. And I'm starting to get pressure in my head. I never had a headache. I don't know if I got a brain tumor or what. If they told me I have a brain tumor, now that I mentioned that I'm starting to get pressure feeling in my head, I tried all that bullshit. I've been on every antacid, PPI, sucralfate, no fucking acid, no alcohol, no red meat. Thought it might have been gluten. Fuck, I've tried everything, man. No shit. I don't know what the hell it is. Right at the top of my stomach. I skipped everything, lost weight, all the bullshit. I don't think it's related to acid at all. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I did it all. I did all that shit. I don't think it has anything to do with acid or low acid diet or any of that stuff. If it did, sucralfate or omeprazole or pantoprazole, whatever the fuck they call them. Man, I ate those damn things for months, didn't do shit. I did watch what I had to eat. I did. Fuck, I hardly eat everything now. I eat the most goddamn pussy diet in the world. Fucking oatmeal with nothing on it. I don't even eat pizza anymore. You see, I haven't been going there. I don't know what the fuck it is. I mean, 2 days ago, it was really bad. Just feel like I'm gonna die, and I still don't think I have as much energy as I should. I'll try it. I'll try it. No, it's not sinusitis. It's not. I shouldn't have that, you know? Fuck, I don't know. I'm tired all night. I should have more energy. I mean, I gotta really force myself, like today, to really see a task through rather than half-ass shit, half done. It could be, but I don't think that's hurting my stomach. I don't have acid reflux. I don't have indigestion. None of that shit. It's not flu. Yeah, they are. No, I know. I feel bad. I was talking to that lady the other day walking down there in Augusta. A lot of homeless down there. No, I was screaming all day today. Screaming at the top of my goddamn lungs. Get so fucking pissed. I mean, if you were a neighbor or something, you'd think I was absolutely insane. I get so fucking mad. Yeah, this throat thing is nothing. Oh, really? Well, I got an appointment with another guy in a couple weeks. It keeps fucking doing this. I'm gonna go up to Cleveland Clinic. Yo, you too? Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like shit, man. I just don't feel that good, and I got this stomach issue I can't get rid of no matter what I do. Quit coffee, like today. Quit coffee, that doesn't do any good, so I fucking drank a coffee. Didn't change anything. I'll just like have the most perfect couple of days in a row and eating this bullshit like a rabbit. Sleeping, all that shit, drinking extra water, and then just wake up and just feel like shit. Yeah, I like Detroit. Detroit's a good town. It's not coming back though. These people are dreaming. And if it is coming back, it's not coming back the way that these people seem to think it is. You know, here's another thing I wanted to tell you about too. You know, having these chats, I mean, people think that you're just going to come on here and suck everybody's ass and ask them to give a thumbs up and all. I could give a fuck. I mean, either I like people and we have something in common or I don't. So over the last 6 months, they've been saying this a long time that I am great at distancing myself. Yeah, I am great at it. You know why? Because I don't want those people in my life. I don't want them contacting me outside of YouTube. I don't want to hang out with them. I don't want to be friends with them. I don't want to. Not that I'm better than them. None of that kind of shit. It's just we don't have anything in common. I got a few people I'm tight with, a couple people on YouTube, and that's it. I don't want any more. No, it's not. Downtown's not back. More crime there than ever. Corrupt police department, shitty transportation system. The school sucks. Insurance has gone through the roof. It sucks. Show me some data that it's gotten better. Hey, Mel, how you doing? Oh, how's it going over there, Mel? It's not back. The downtown is not back. Greektown sucks. You tell me one place that's safe to go without getting your ass raped and shot past 10 o'clock at night. You tell me where. Where do you feel comfortable walking outside at night without taking a chance of getting murdered? There's not adequate housing. You're nuts. Yeah, look at the FBI statistics. Homicide has improved. You know why? Everybody moved. There's a third of the population that there used to be from 25 years ago. A third. 83% of the people that are residents of Detroit don't have auto insurance company coverage. Oh, don't worry about it, James. No, it's a die. That's why nobody goes there. You don't see any companies moving to Detroit. Even Amazon got the hell out of Dodge. I think that was all politically motivated anyway. And the bridge is for Canada. It's not really doing much for Detroit. They're paying for it. Yeah, commercial real estate, that's a problem everywhere. Chicago, New York, look those up too. Look up those two, commercial real estate vacancies. Drug addicts and group home facilities, it's true. Yeah, this drug thing, I don't know what the hell to do about that. I'll tell you one thing, though, Trump's got a plan for that. He's considering them terrorists. Yeah, that's true, Crunch and Munch. It's true. It's gotten better with murders, but everywhere else, look at violent crimes, B&Es. It's terrible. Hey, Anita, how you doing? Yeah, and that too, yeah. But we can only talk about what we know now, what we don't know. It's just a shitty place to live. Now, there are a lot of good people in Detroit, but you'd have to be out of your fucking mind to move there. Tell me where the nice neighborhoods are, where the kids walk to school. Nowhere. West Branch was a good place to live, and I wish I would have been there this winter. It was a great winter, snow, cold. The winters had basically disappeared when I was up there. I'd like to go up there now, but my buddy up there doesn't have any days off for a while, so I'm not going to. A couple of my buddies in property areas. I'm sick. Yeah, well, who's going to pay for it? Do you ever consider that? Do you ever consider who's going to pay for this housing? I mean, after all, we're paying up the ass for all the drug addicts on Medicaid, all the poor people on Medicaid, all the illegal Mexicans on Medicaid. Where do you propose we get the fucking money to just give people free housing while they don't plan on ever working? Yeah, we did get a little snow down here. Yeah, about a month ago, 2 inches. Hey, Drifter, how you doing? Yeah, I've been feeling that good. And, I've been trying to get this shit squared away, and I've been working out a lot too. Yeah, that's why. Oh, it was much different than Detroit. Yeah, I liked West Branch. It's a good place to live. And I lived in Detroit for a while just to experience it. That was like when was that? 84 to 86. I liked it. But I wouldn't if I had kids there or a wife I gave two shits about. Oh, the Lincoln Memorial, I like that. Yeah, West Branch is relatively safe, although they're getting more crime too. Go to the Upper Peninsula. Yeah, you really like it. I can tell you the good places to go. Try to make it to Mackinac Island. Go off season though. It's super busy there now. I think 3.5 million people went there last summer. Try and make it up to Marquette. Let me tell you though, there's not that many great places up in the UP. You will drive your ass off where the highway does not run along the water. Seriously. Alaska's kind of like that too. There's like thousands of miles in between cool places. Yeah, I lost 34 pounds totally. Total. Oh, so yeah, there are good neighborhoods, but I'll tell you, if you look around and you read between the lines, I was thinking about this the other night laying in bed. Is like, I guess nobody knows it, but if you're older and you've been around a while and you look at the places that used to be nice, that are not anymore, it's subtle how they go from good to bad. It just doesn't happen overnight. But it's interesting how, is there a barometer, a way to determine when to get the hell out? Some people did it right and some stayed too long. Yeah. I am slimmer, yeah. I am more fit, I tell you that. Yeah, it's true. I bought a bunch of new weights and stuff like that. Oh, you can tell? Thank you. And what else I gonna tell you? I'm lucky, man. Like I said all along, you can knock me for this too, but you get in trouble and your balls are in a vice, get a Jew lawyer. Yeah, I know there's other lawyers from other ethnicities that are just as good, but I'm going with the Jew, and just him. If Jesus was a Jew, what more do you want if you're a Christian? Why wouldn't you want a Jewish lawyer? And sure enough, he kicked ass. You know how much bullshit you have to go through to overturn a case? You got to research all this bullshit and tell 3 appellate judges what the judge did wrong. And this judge was on the bench for like the last 25 years or something like that. That's pretty damn impressive. And I don't think they have an oral argument down there. I don't think so. You know, if you look up Ravery versus Reed, Ravary, I had a judge sue me a long time ago. I beat that in a court of appeals too. Ravery versus Reed. They thought they were going to put old Tommy Boy in jail. Nope. I got a stay, which meant they couldn't jail me. They tried. I was about 6 hours away from being locked up and getting anal banged. And then I got that, and then I got it overturned. So I'm on my appeals, I'm batting 1,000. Mentally ill. Yeah, I'm mentally ill. Yeah, who isn't? Hey, Conan, how you doing? Yeah, I haven't been on too much lately. Well, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to have to happen. Yeah, she's either got to come up with the money, which you can't do. Hey, I want to tell you about that too. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to tell you this, man. I want to tell somebody, so I'm going to tell you, Callie. So we get married, right? On again, off again. I didn't get married till I was 30. Always getting together, breaking up, that kind of shit. So I'm going to tell you this too. As far as my ex-wife goes, I haven't even come close to meeting anybody that good. Not even fucking close. But I'm still glad I left, for what that's worth. But anyway, so I leave, and we kind of kept in touch all these years, right? So, the property, I'm not like, I should have a lot more money than I do. I mean, I made a lot of money in a short period, blew a lot of it, but got lucky on that Florida property, and I got lucky in selling a detective agency. That's it. Other than that, I'd probably still be working. I mean, I just thought that saving and investing money was just so fucking boring. I thought you only live once, that kind of thing. Well, let me tell you, and I tell young people this, you never really think you're going to make it this fucking long. I mean, I didn't consider things that I thought were dangerous, I quit doing. I didn't even think flying planes was dangerous. I didn't think skydiving was dangerous. I didn't think kickboxing was dangerous. I didn't think boxing was dangerous at an amateur level. I did think motorcycles were dangerous, which is why I quit riding. So, but you just don't ever think you're going to make it this long. But anyway, so we go down there. I sell this business. I buy 20 acres down there for $210,000, which was fucking insane at the time. 10 grand an acre, about a little over, right? 11 grand an acre. There was an A-frame on there, believe it or not, by a guy that had got caught embezzling a bunch of stuff from a company, a fucking A-frame in Florida. But he was stealing the shit. And maybe those materials were easy to steal as opposed to the other stuff. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. A-frame in Florida. Redid the A-frame for about 85 grand, sitting down there on this 20 acres, fucking around. And then I started breeding parrots. And I had like a ton of money in parrots. Built up all this elaborate cages, blah, 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 hired workers, all this bullshit, selling into pet shops. It's a fucking nightmare. One of the dumbest things I've ever done. So we're living down there, and it's kind of fucking boring. And, the county out in those rural areas is growing up. And we thought, my wife says, well, why don't we maybe build a bed and breakfast? It's like, yeah, okay, let's do it. I don't give a fuck. So we built a bed and breakfast. Now, at that time, that bed and breakfast, this was back then. Palm Beach County is very strict, so you had to get all these permits and shit like this. So we built this bed and breakfast, about like 340 grand or something back like in, I don't know, 97, 6, something like that. And this fucking thing we got with everything involved. Now, I couldn't do it. It was a one-shot deal for me. It wasn't like there was tons of money laying around. I was just going to do this every few years. So I get there. I just didn't like being married, to be honest with you. I want to get the fuck out of there. And a lot of it had to do with depression. Like I said, if you wanted to just in a simple way place blame, you can give me 90% of it. I'm hard to live with. Hey, Terry. Moody, fucking porn addict. I mean, I can give you a lot of reasons. And I just didn't like it, man. It's like, so I'm thinking about this. And, one big fault with humans, I think, is you try and connect your emotion to something that happened. And I think that's not always very valid. I've read a lot about this. The older I get and the more experience I have, I think it's bullshit. I think I'm just like a crazy fucker. It wasn't because I wasn't uh, rubbed enough as a baby, or, I did have a weird upbringing with my parents. Maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe it didn't. But anyway, so I just decided, I just don't want to fucking do this. This is all right. It was better than most marriages I knew. I knew I wasn't going to find somebody of that quality again. And I thought, fuck it, I'm going to get divorced. So the bed and breakfast was just finished. And I fucking laid it on her. It's like, you know what? I think I don't want to be married anymore. She said, well, why don't we just separate? You can go out and, do what you want. It's okay. So I just took off one day, moved to Chicago, cold turkey. I had a non-compete in Michigan where I couldn't do detective work. So I thought, honestly, I just went to an Atlas. I didn't want to go to the East Coast. You couldn't pay me to live out on the West Coast. I'd already been in Florida. So I picked Chicago. And then I thought, when my non-compete expires, I'll go and start doing work in Michigan again, which is exactly what I did 10 years later, because I financed the sale of the detective agency. At that time, we were going to sell the place. We list it with a guy and really kind of would have broke even. Now, I want your honest opinion on this. Pay attention, please, because I want your honest opinion of this. I do. Because sometimes I think it's just my biased, subjective thinking that made me think this was reasonable, and maybe it isn't. I try and keep an open mind on stupid shit that I do. So I take off. She comes up and visits me in Chicago a couple times. I go down there a few times. We kind of keep in touch. It's really kind of a mystery who's doing what regarding dating. But I knew her schedule, and this is fucked up, and I'll admit it to you. I wasn't really looking to date, but I didn't really want her dating anybody else either. That's fucking nuts. I know it sucks. It's selfish. It's fucked up. But that's the way I was at the time. So this goes on up to around 2007, and I'm living in Chicago. The calls kind of drop off. And I'm living my life. She's living her. And by the way, I got my medical insurance through her work the whole fucking time. Now, I never knew it cost extra. And if it did, I was willing to pay for it, but it was never brought up. I mean, I guess it's that way now. I'm not sure in that case. Whatever it is, I'd be willing to pay for it. So I get insurance all this time. So about 2007 or something, my wife had a lady that was running the bed and breakfast. Okay. Now, here's the thing. You can say, hey, what you left, which is true. It's really none of your business what's going on with her down there. That's true, too. In a perfect world, I would agree with you. But we're kind of talking openly. I'm not really doing anything. It's vague, right? And I was still jealous at the time. Well, she starts fucking the landscaper because it's an absolute nightmare down there taking care of that place. It's 20 acres. They have wedding venues. You can watch the grass grow, cleaning rooms. And she worked full time as an occupational therapist. But prior to that, when we went to sell it, where we would have just both got out of it, the real estate agent told me that she was monkey wrenching the showings, that he was never going to sell it if she was there. The real estate thing ends up expiring. So now fast forward to 2007. So this girl running the bed and breakfast doesn't like her boyfriend and calls me one day, because I would go down there once in a while for a day or two. Believe me, I'd stay in hotels when I was down there because I just didn't think it was like cool that I just show up and expect to stay there. And that's true. I did do surprise visits and that kind of shit because, I still got equity in the place. And the last thing I wanted to do, really, I kind of like looked for a reason to blame. I don't know. I just didn't like the idea of someone moving in and after I paid for it. So it goes off the market. This lady calls. She said, I think you're a good guy. And I want to tell you what Sherry's been doing. Well, as it turns out, she had some fling with some older guy. I don't care. We're separated, right? I get this. Never tells me about it. Really not my business. Evidently, the guy's children thought that she was a gold digger. And I don't know if that's happened or not. But during this, fucker was a lawyer, too. She starts trying to sue me for divorce. And at the time, I was going through some pretty heavy depression. And that's the last thing I wanted to fuck with. I got lucky. I got tipped off at a dentist office. And a cop fucking contacted me, too, in a process server that contacted the police department and said, hey, these fuckers are trying to serve you. Well, I was in no mental framework to go down to Florida and fight a fucking divorce. So I'm not saying I'm an expert at evading service, but I can tell you I've never been served. You got to get fucking lucky to serve me. Believe me, I'm not saying I'm the smartest guy in the world, but you're not just walking up to me and serving me. When I think something's up, especially when I've been tipped off, yeah, good luck. I'm not dumb. If I pull into a place and it seems fishy, I'll get the fuck out of there. The subpoena ends up expiring. Then she's telling me, this guy moved in. They're banging all damn night long, so it pissed me the fuck off. She offered me 50 grand, that lawyer. Now, mind you, my money at the time that I invested, my money that I made was probably 450 before I left. 450 grand. So they offered me 50 grand. It's like, fuck you. And so it keeps going on. I get pissed off. I file to divorce her. We start fucking talking again. This guy supposedly moved out. I mean, by that time, it didn't really matter that much. And it kind of goes away. And as it turns out, he did move out. And, it got to the point where around like 2007, 2009, I didn't give a fuck anymore. We both were into this fucking thing. And by this time, you still couldn't give that property away. And she's working this fucking place on top of working a job. So what was about $650,000 then, over time, and mind you, when I left to Chicago, because we were into it together, I paid money, all the payments, which was about 2.5 years. And then she finally cut off and said, I don't need the payments anymore. The bed and breakfast is breaking even. I don't need you micromanaging me. I wasn't. So don't send any more money. She admitted this under oath in the divorce thing. So this goes on. I have some more fucking mental problems. And we talk, but I hadn't seen her in like 15 or 16 years, right? So it gets to her mother. They were real frugal, the mother and the dad. And you never know how much money people have. And when there was her and her brother, the sister died, the other brother died, and a younger brother got killed in a car accident. So it was presumably whatever money they had was going to get split up between her and her brother. So the mom dies. As it turns out, the fucking mom decides to split the estate up 4 ways instead of 2. And there was only about $1 million after everything was sold. So they all got about 250 grand. Now, at this time, I'm coming up to where I'm going to be able to get on Medicare. So I don't really need insurance anymore, which was a factor in kind of hanging in there. And I'm waiting for her to say, hey, look, I didn't get as much money as I thought I was going to get. How about I give you 250 grand? Never happened. Never said a fucking word. As a matter of fact, she was having ideas of buying the house that her mother lived in, which needed all sorts of work, as an investment. I'm thinking, investment? I mean, I kind of thought that when the mom died, now I assume this, and this is the problem, but I had talked about this with her before. I mean, where are you going to get this kind of money minus your mother dying? You're not going to work and make it, right? So she never says anything. So one time we're having a conversation, 2 years ago this June, a little before that, and I wanted to get divorced. I didn't need the insurance anymore, and I wanted to square up. She said, I don't want to get divorced. And it's like, why? You got this guy. If I had to guess, I don't know if this is true. I think she didn't want to get divorced because she was using me as an excuse not to marry the boyfriend. From what I've been told, he's a pain in the ass, but he does do all the work around there. And I guarantee you, if she leaves there, he's not going with her. I don't know for sure, right? So she said, I don't want to get divorced. Like, why not? It's like, well, I don't know. She said, we've been doing it this long. Why change? Which, okay. A couple weeks later, we have another conversation. I said, you know what? I said, I think you're going to be one of these old women that are living in Florida, and you're going to be 95 years old still running that bread and breakfast. She said, you're probably right. And the minute she said that, I knew between the two things, not getting offered the money she had, and that she was going to be doing that maybe at 95, that she had no plans on selling. And there wasn't that much money from the mother. So I said, well, I'm going to, I want to get paid on this. Hey, Brad, how you doing? Yeah, I'm coming back to Detroit in about a month. I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to get paid? I said, well, she said, well, what do you want? And I said, well, she said, I'll give you 200 grand. It's like, And here was my thinking on this. Now, I want you guys to tell me the truth in this. My thinking was, even if you just compounded simple interest on all my money at the beginning over this 25-year, 28-year period, I mean, you can imagine what the dollar amount be. In the meantime, the fucking property goes up to like $3.7 million. I mean, it's fucking insane down there. It's 20 prime acres in a good place. And it's what's called passive appreciation. In other words, if we both left and locked the gate, it'd still be worth that kind of money. The bed and breakfast, if you wanted one, it's already there, but that's not how the value is determined. So I sue her for divorce, get an expert. The passive appreciation thing solidified by an expert. Yeah, it's true. This bed and breakfast ain't worth shit. We're not even counting the buildings, right? So I sue her. Florida, you have 2 mandatory mediations. So we go to the mediation, their job, I don't know what kind of incentive they have to get you to go for this, but it's significant because they just kiss your fucking ass trying to get you to work things out. They want to talk about taxes and legal expenses and going through the trouble and capital gains and all this bullshit. So the most she could come up with, 250 grand. It's like, no way. Even if you just gave me 450 from 25 years ago, I'd be happy. Go through both mediations. She can't come up with more than 250. Yeah, I know why. She doesn't have it. And because she still has some payments on the property, if she was able to get that. So I'm talking to my buddy Marty. He said, tell her I'll lend her 600 grand at a super low interest rate. So I called her up. I said, hey, Marty will give you 600 grand at a super low interest rate. She said, no, I'm not interested. It's like, oh, okay. I reject both mediations and we end up going to trial. Well, the first judge just bought her proposed settlement from her attorney, 80-20. Didn't count, my early investment. Really, her lawyer did an excellent job at painting me as just a deadbeat, loser, soon-to-be ex-husband that abandoned her. I just left. Now, mind you, this whole time before I left Florida, I went and consulted an attorney and I said, hey, what's going to keep me from getting fucked out of this? He says, well, make sure you file joint income taxes, keep in touch. And that's exactly what I did. That whole time we filed joint income taxes. Well, how the hell do you abandon somebody in 1998 and you still get together and you get your finances together? I sent all my shit and she filed in Florida. For the first 15 years, we did it in Michigan. Then I switched to Florida because she liked some CPA that did bed and breakfast or something. It's basically a balance sheet. I don't get it, but I went along with it anyway. So I couldn't have done anything different. So the judge handed my ass to me on that thing, like 80-20 split. It's like, what? Now I'm up to 38 in my liabilities. And she made $1.2 million since I left on the bed and breakfast. Did I get any of that? No. Did I have any exclusive use of the property? I didn't. So I appealed. I fucking had to appeal, man. And it all got overturned. But basically, that judge down there was willing to give me about 300 grand, tell me to get lost. That's what the final ruling was 2 years ago this June. So luckily, she's got to sell it now. And the judge doesn't have any autonomy through what the Court of Appeals have ruled, so I'm home free now. The only way you could do this is some egregious behavior by the appellate judges, which never happens. So I'm lucky. I don't think she did consider me, and she's really, here's what it really comes down to. This is what it comes down to. This is like all relationships in life. She liked living there. She felt that it wouldn't be worth this if she hadn't been there all the time, which I agree with. But if I was willing to take 600,000 and she was going to be able to keep 2.5 million, I think that was being pretty damn reasonable. I would have got way more than that just on my money. Without the use of my money in the 5 years I lived there too, she wouldn't have anything. That went in one ear and out the other. That judge could have cared less. I got our appellate lawyer. Yeah. So I appealed it. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. No, it's insane. But, it's not just me, it's everybody down there in that area. Well, she should have. But you know what? I know why, Kelly. Kelly, she couldn't make another payment. And I'll tell you this, too, in fairness to her, if that mother would have left her $2 million, she'd have wrote me a check for it. She didn't want to move, and she didn't have the money. That's why she didn't pay me. It wasn't because she didn't think I deserved it. I was willing to take not much. Yeah, well, nobody was doing those things when I got married in 1986. And we didn't have anything starting out. You never think you're going to get to this point. Yeah, she works. She does. Yeah, she works as a full-time therapist. Yeah. You'd have to. I don't think you can make it. She makes like $120,000 a year on top of that. But here's the bind she's in. There has to be, you couldn't afford to pay somebody to do all the maintenance around there. So she meets this guy. I don't know what the deal is. Didn't sound too good. I don't care anymore. So it's kind of like, until you walk in somebody's shoes, I guarantee if she didn't own a bed and breakfast, she wouldn't have a fucking thing to do with this guy. And if I had a chance to find out, I don't care. So now what she's faced with is write this big check or the place has to be sold. Yeah, judge really screwed me. She screwed a lot of people. She's the most overturned judge in Palm Beach County. Just bitchy the whole time, flicking her hair back, making faces, like super unprofessional. And this isn't just me. I'll tell you a funny thing. When I went down there, I hadn't been down there in a long time. And he's an alcoholic that freeloads, but he does do a lot of work too. When I went down there, I was staying in West Palm Beach and the courthouse was up in Palm Beach Gardens. And if you've ever been down in Florida, I don't care what time of year, this traffic's just fucking insane. So I made a dry run from my hotel because the lawyer was near where my hotel was. Because I didn't want to be like, going through construction or going to the wrong building or some shit like that. When I went in there, the place was still open. And I met a attorney in the elevator, and I met a cleaning lady. I told him I was up here. Somehow we struck up conversations. I was up there in a divorce and just making a dry run. And when both of them asked me who my judge was, and I told them, and they both rolled their eyes. And the cleaning said, "Good luck, you're going to need it." So this lady has a reputation that's not a secret to anybody. Yeah, no. So I learned a lot about that stuff. When it comes down to money and stuff like that, and this is what I really think was the subtle game plan. Everybody in her family lives to like 120. I think she was just hoping, not really hoping. I don't think she was hoping that I was going to die. She'd figure out that she'd outlive me and she'd never need to deal with this. Oh yeah, you're going to get some. Don't you worry. You're going to get one of the attorney that represented me too before I did the appeal. Follow the money. Yeah, live and learn. Now, since then, as it turns out, that was bad advice I got from an attorney about being covered. Wouldn't you think you'd be covered if you filed joint income tax for the whole 28 years you were gone? Well, as it turns out, that means nothing. There was one part in the thing where I had to hire this real estate expert. Everything down there for an expert's like fucking 10 grand and 8 grand. I don't give a fuck if they go over there and look at the mailbox. It's 5 fucking grand. It's just the way it is. So during court, her lawyer, who ran circles around mine, they show me these pictures of the place. Now, the bed and breakfast was there, the A-frame that was done. There were some repairs that were done to a horsebound, but that was about it. There's a cheeky hut on an island, shit like that. So they're showing me these pictures. Like, they come over, "Mr. Reed, would you identify these pictures?" It's like, yeah, her attorney, right? They show me this, that. I go through like 25 pictures. Did you see anything different? No, I didn't. I tell you guys now, even if I lied then, I'd tell you now. Although I was never planning on lying under oath. So at the end, I'm looking at the pictures. This judge says to me, "So you don't see anything different, huh?" It's like, "No, I don't. I can tell there was some work done on the thing, but the bed and breakfast is same." She said, "I'm asking the questions." I said, "Oh, okay. You asked me if I saw anything different, and I don't." She said, "You haven't been there in 16 years and nothing's changed?" I said, "No, not according to these pictures. Nothing." And she rolls her eyes, flips her hair. I knew I was fucked right then. Yeah, you'd have thought like she built a fucking 28-story fucking skyscraper that I saw, and I didn't admit that that's new. It's fucking bullshit, man. This is what happened. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. That actually happened. And then we're talking to the trial. I'm talking about there was a part when you may not know if I was talking about filing a lawsuit or filing income tax. The judge looks at me. She says, "Filing what? What? Filing, 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 filing. Filing what?" All she had to say to me was, "What are you talking about?" And I'd have told her that kind of shit. That was from the whole fucking day. This lawyer's writing me these notes on the thing like, "We're fucked. I didn't think it'd go this bad." It's like, great, wonderful. This is fucking super. But you didn't need to be smart to realize that I was getting bent over there for who knows why. The biggest glaring part. Now, here's another thing I want to tell you about this, whatever happens to you. You can't bring in any new facts when you appeal a case. You have to go totally on the transcripts, and it has to be an error of how the law was applied, an error in the judge's discretion regarding the current case law. Other than that, you're fucked. Well, as it turns out, the first detective agency was great. It was like $1,300,000. I sold, financed it. The second one was nothing. I got like 40 grand down. The guy paid another 50 grand and quit paying, ended up going bankrupt. That was never articulated during the trial. So it was a big question mark. If you're a person that doesn't know shit, you don't get a chance to tell these appellate court judges the details, which is why your attorney is supposed to bring this up under oath so it's on a transcript. That way they could have read it. So one of the things the appellate court addressed was the second detective agency. Did she get any money of that? Well, no, there fucking wasn't any. Okay? That's the first thing. But the biggest fuck up on that whole thing was if you'd have asked me, I knew what money was at stake. I was either going to win or not. So when you said, "Hey, we're going to need to get a real estate expert." Okay, fine. How much is it? Like fucking 8,500 or something. Like, okay, 8,500. Now here's what fucking cooked my ass the most. As it turns out, these judges are so busy down there. What happens is both sides, their attorney and your attorney, you do these proposed settlement agreements, how you think the judge should rule. And they rule, and it's really unethical. And I don't want to say it's against the law, but the last thing they want judges to do is signing off on a proposed settlement agreement, trial or final verdict, whatever you want to call it, by not reading it. So her attorney fills out all this fucking shit, makes me look like this loser that kept the money from the second detective. Well, nobody really knows what that is. But here was the thing that fucked me the worst, and I didn't realize it until I read the appellate court brief, or I'd have got more. It'd have been 50-50. They brought in a forensic accountant, and she just fucking made it look like, this place is losing their ass. There's never been any money in it. Blah, blah, blah. The expenses are more than the income. And my fucking lawyer, he can't rebut that. Number one, he's not an expert. He's not a CPA. He never brings up or suggests that I get an expert, a forensic accountant. Never says anything. So luckily I did as well as I did in the Court of Appeals, because they referenced that in the appellate court's decision. Was the judge signed off on exactly what her attorney wrote down. I bet she didn't read it at all. 80-20. And my attorney can't rebut what an expert says about accounting. So the appellate judges could only read what was in the transcript. And that was how this expert witness just made it look like she's been losing her ass the whole time. Nothing I could have done about it. Now, I guarantee you, if I had hired a forensic accountant, there's no way in hell they'd have come in there and filed 80-20. I mean, maybe they'd have done 50-50. I mean, after all, they're getting paid by me. But what that would have done is that would have given data for the appeals court to read rather than just have no counter argument for. Didn't happen. Yeah, I thought I did too. Yeah. Hey, Jeannie, how you doing? So that's what happened. So that's my fucking rant for tonight. But it's still a lot of money either way. Look, I get Social Security. I got enough money to live fine. I buy used clothes, used cars. Only thing I do is eat out. I mean, if I got $10 million tomorrow, it wouldn't change my life. I don't want like new cars and exotic vacations. So I really don't care about it. Even if I'd have got zero, I'd be doing this. Same thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, she's going to have to sell it. Yeah. I mean, unless she can find some way to come up with this big ass check, and I don't know how, but you never know. Sat in the house for free. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, you moron? Yeah, so that's what happened. Well, the good news is the appeals court saw through it, and they thought that I was long gone, you fucking dumbass. Pay attention. Didn't you listen to anything that I said? How's your reading comprehension? Stupid fucker. God. Oh, thank you. So that's what happened. You fucking dumbass, get lost. You don't either, you stupid ass. I haven't lived there in 28 years, you moron. I paid for it to have it built. Now get lost. Oh, yeah, I got a good view. Yeah, I like it here, you know? Yeah, fuck. Yeah, I don't. Hey, Lucid, how you doing? I was thinking about you today. We got these fucking people that have been blocked. The one that, the lawyer that I hired through the divorce, like 36,000, I think. 36,000. And the appeals lawyer was only 10 grand. He saved my fucking ass. I just think there's nice places there, Bruce. I just think it's like congested, super expensive. I don't like that hot weather. I just don't find anything. It's like that dry, arid looking like San Diego area. I mean, you know, I've been all over California. Just this LA. I mean, I've been to San Diego. I mean, I don't like the East Coast either. Just too many people, I guess. And the politics, of course. Yeah, I think their politics, I think they're insane. No, never had any kids. Nope. Yeah, you would think this would be, this wasn't nobody was like, here's another thing that kind of surprised me too. Not that I would have done it, but I always thought that like, you really, better account for every penny and, hidden money and all this bullshit. Not at all. You could hide all sorts of shit and not tell them about it and they'd never find it. It'd have to be some fluke. Now, I thought they were really on like making sure everything was like, above board and that you weren't lying. It didn't even seem to concern anybody. You could lie about having 500 grand as long as they didn't know where it was, you were fine. You always think when you hear these stories that, God, you're going to get charged criminally or they're going to hold you in contempt of court for not telling something under oath. Bullshit. They could have gave a fuck. No, I never had any kids. No, I never wanted any kids. Glad I didn't. I love Lexington. It's a great town. That'd be where I'd move to if I left here, Lexington, Kentucky. Excellent place. Beautiful. You're kind of in the central part of the United States, well, not really, but Lexington's halfway from here to Detroit for me, like 453 miles. Lexington's beautiful. It's got it all. Good colleges, medical school, law school, a lot of culture, arts, and it's beautiful. I mean, I don't know how you feel about horse racing, but I'll tell you, whether you like it or whether you don't, when you see those horses out there in the springtime, that blue grass, I mean, it's gorgeous. Good restaurants, good coffee shops. I love Lexington. Not Louisville, Lexington. And you can always go to Louisville. You know, that big, huge expo center, that's where all the big shows are. Truck shows, all sorts of cool shit. Lexington. You know, it's a good place to have it, but you're only about an hour away. I mean, it's a great place to live. No, I was screaming today. Screaming all day today. Yeah, it's a beautiful place. Love Kentucky. Yeah, I like it here. I'm already worried about this place starting to already a lot of people moving in. Lady at the dollar store told me all the people have been moving in lately. Yeah, no, I like it here. You know, it was getting used to. I mean, West Branch is like New York City compared to this place. I mean, I really have gotten used to like no noise and quiet and birds and stuff, man. I think I go fucking nuts in a city now. I really do. You do get used to it. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? The country is just absolutely stunning. There's so much beautiful country. You know, Tennessee is nice too, but I'll tell you, you talk about crazy crime. All those Tennessee places. Knoxville, Memphis, Chattanooga, just crazy crime. Fucking lunatics. Kentucky's way better. Yeah, well, they're not going to get too close here. But it's just seeing cars go by and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I go on these big, long walks, and most of it's walking down the road. You might see 2 cars. Oh, big time. I can, but to be honest with you, Bruce, not as good as I thought I would have. You know, it's got 15-foot ceilings, tons of modern insulation. So I just moved my bedroom from the back to the front. And I've got giant windows, like 8 feet tall by 4 feet wide. And then I've got a small one that lets in light over my headboard. And I'll be able to hear the rain a lot better. But I don't hear it as much as you would think I would. And it's because of what I said. It's a metal roof, too. You can tell, but it's not. I wish it was just like deafening, and it isn't. Yes, I am. Yeah, I am the guy. Yep. Yeah, Maddie and Gerald, yep. Well, you know, we just got 2 days of cold. I got down to 23, and we had a snowstorm here about a month ago of 2 or 3 inches. There's been some cold days down here, but mainly I would describe like the winter here. You'll get a cool morning, 40, and by noon it's 50, and by 1:30 it's 60. 70s a lot. I'll just give you an example. Now we are in the end of February now. I'll give you an example whatever, but we did get some cold breaks. So our 10-day forecast is today was 57 high, 29 low. Tomorrow 60 high, 40 low. Then 63, 39, 72, 40, 72, 44, 71, 45, and 63, 41. So it's like a nice fall day. But I will tell you, you will broil yourself here in the summertime. It is hot. Man, the summer's a bitch, man. Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah, I can. Not as loud as I'd like it to be. Oh, 37? Oh, okay. Man, I guess they're both in jail. I think they're both in jail. I'm not really sure why. Yeah, that's how it was here. About the same, weather you get. Yep. Now you get up 200 miles north of here, where you start and get into the mountains of Georgia. They get roads shut down. They're shutting that Smoky Mountain National Park down all the time for snow and floods and all sorts of shit. I mean, 200 miles north is quite a difference. But down here, nah, not too much. Don't really get that cold. That snow is kind of a freak snowstorm. That's the first time I saw it since I've been down here. And I notice, like, when I go in the morning, like the puddles are frozen, that kind of thing. But we should be out of the woods now. But you never know. I didn't expect this last cold snap. But I'll go up to Athens. Like, I've been up there I go up there quite a bit the last 3 weeks. And It's 70, 71. Everybody's running around in a t-shirt. All the college kids are in shorts. Yeah. That's a good question. Canada, I'm not really sure. I mean, the truth of the matter is, look, you guys know how I feel politically, but believe me, Donald Trump in a lot of ways is embarrassing. I just still voted for him. But like he says, and it's kind of true, we don't really need Canada for anything. They need us. We don't need them. I think it's going to increase prices, but I mean, we've got a United States now that's a skeleton of what it used to be. Nobody's paying anything. Prices are through the roof. Regulations just ridiculous. And if you look at some of the things that they're uncovering through like Biden, it just shows you. I mean, it's all ideology and what kind of personality you are and what you've done in your life and how you'd like to see it go as a pair is compared to what it's been like. These illegal immigrants, these drug dealers coming in and ruining places. I think I'm all for the tariffs. I say do it. It's take your choice. No tariffs, and everybody works for $12 an hour, or you impose the tariffs and you bring back some of this manufacturing and some of these livable wage jobs to the United States. Do you know that Asheville's got like a huge gay population? So I read a thing that said that there's more lesbians that live in Asheville than anywhere in the country. Yeah, I love rainstorms too, yeah. I'll be able to hear them a lot better here because I had French doors in the back bedroom, but honestly, it's too dark there. I never open them. It isn't what I thought it would be. I thought it'd be quieter back there and you'd open them, but I missed the light, to be honest with you, and I didn't think it would. On the old bank, what is he doing with that? I'm not really sure what he's doing with that. He's building like stuff all over the place. I mean, it'll be rebuilt into something new. Yeah, it's your mother, Jethro. It's your mom that does that. You know that. Jethro, I've told you a million times not bring up things about your mother. You know that? You still keep on doing it. But not anymore, Jethro. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, I think it'll affect it. Something's got to give, though. I mean, yeah, probably aluminum. It probably will. Beaver pelts, Canadian bacon. But look, I mean, it's not all good, okay? But I think in the whole scheme of things, it's going to benefit us more than it hurts us. Yeah, there's going to be things that people don't like. Sort of, a little bit. Not like I should. I'm still like doing stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's easy to sneak in Canada. Oh, foreign workers taking jobs. Yeah. Yeah. Weirdos. Yeah, I mean, taking a day at a time, Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, shit, what are you going to do? Yeah, I'm trying to hang in there. I mean, you know how it is. Yeah, I did lay a lot of federal workers off. He sure did. Yep. 13 snow. Wow. Oh, wow. No kidding. That's too bad. Yeah, you probably could. They really cracked down on that, though. I bought a boat just so I could go and record those Zug Island and some of those factories around Detroit. That's the only thing I got it for. And I take that boat once in a while and I go up to Belle Isle. And, the line, Belle Isle's halfway across the river. So you're almost in like Canadian waters. And back in the day, hell, we used to take boats, go over to Canada, Amherstburg. There's this place you could get fried fish. Nobody cared, but it's not like that anymore. And you'll see those Canadian Coast Guard or whatever they call them over there. You'll see them pulling people over on whatever that imaginary line is all the time. I mean, I think you probably could sneak over there, but they don't want you to. And if they see you, they'll come get you. Oh, sorry about that, Rose. Yeah, I had secret fantasies of living in Canada. I considered going to law school over there at one time. University of Windsor. Yeah, I mean, Canada is like, I'll tell you, it seemed fine up until lately. And then you see some of the things. And Trudeau, I don't know about that guy. I love Toronto. I loved how they just stayed out of everybody's business. But it's starting to get to like where they're forcing their hand with their contribution to NATO and that kind of thing. Yeah, Europe's a mess too. It's the truth. No, not now. Big hassle. Yeah. Oh, a train. Yeah. I don't know what you'd sneak in into Canada for, though. I mean, why? No. Oh, just bridges and water. Bridges and water. That's it. You got Sault Ste. Marie, and then you got the Ambassador Bridge, the new Gordie Howe Bridge. Yeah, well, we'll find out. Yeah, who knows? I mean, this stuff's so damn complicated. I don't really know. I'm not buying anything. I'm not buying any aluminum. I'm not buying anything from Canada. I mean, I'm sure there's, I know that Canada was producing a lot of the marijuana for the marijuana dispensaries in Michigan, like tons of it. Like I had heard 80% one time, but I don't know if that's true. It's probably going to affect them, but if it brings back jobs, you wouldn't need to be importing anything from them. You could do it over here. Yeah, that's what I think so too. A lot of it bargaining chip, right? He's an expert at like getting people to hit the panic button. Yeah, but you mean they're not checking you on the train when you're getting on or anything? Yeah, no, there's places you can do that. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. Now, does anybody know this? And this, I've read two different stories on the Gordie Howe International Bridge. One says that no pedestrians, and then another one said that is a place where pedestrians could go, and you could ride a bike across too. Does anybody know what's what? I mean, I think it's a beautiful bridge. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Now it's supposed to open up in the fall. Yeah, tons of them, Lucid. Somebody just said earlier in the chat that it was easy to sneak into Canada. And they'd let a lot of migrants in there too. I mean, if you go to Niagara Falls, you'd think you're in Pakistan. Oh, jumping on for free? Yeah, all these hobo guys. Stoby Hub, he got killed. Another guy, he drowned in a pond in somebody's backyard here last summer. Yeah, you mean that Enbridge, Rose? Yeah. He's been around. I texted back and forth with him a couple days ago. He said he was really busy with his bands. Said he's having a time of his life. Yeah, he's rehearsing. Yeah. He said he was penning a song about Stephanie. It's a love ballad. Yeah. Yeah, I think Stobe was cool. Yeah, Shoestring, yeah. Oh, did you really? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like Stobe. He was a good guy. It's Shoestring guy. I wasn't a big fan of his. And after all, hey, you know what? It's not like I don't break the law or haven't broken it, but it's trespassing. You're not supposed to be riding those fucking things. Oh, he's got his own live. Oh, good for him. Oh, good. Yeah, he likes playing those songs and stuff. Michelle, I talk to Michelle all the time, to tell you the truth. She's divorced now. She's trying the dating world, getting into a new apartment, horny as hell. But I think Michelle's finding out too that, this dating thing. I told her the other day, if you can't get fucked on a dating site, nobody will. It's one con artist, wacko, sex talk pervert after another. It's not like a bunch of quality guys. I think she's struggling with it. I would have thought, like it's how you think it's going to be and how it really is. I would have thought that she'd have just had guys waiting up, and it doesn't seem like it's really working out that way. And I think part of it is, I'm just guessing, I don't know this either, is she's 40 now. That's not like 20. There's lots of baggage. Lots of guys have been burned. Lots of guys don't want more kids. Plenty of guys don't want to get married. Yeah, but I think the dating stuff is just, I don't know. I was on a dating thing for about 10 days. I thought, oh man, no fucking way. Like I told Stephanie, all of a sudden I wasn't on thing on that 10 minutes, and all of a sudden I'm getting these kisses blown at me by these girls that look like they ought to be Playmate of the Month. And I knew right then it was fucking fraud. I told Stephanie, if you want me to re-sign up for another month or get the 90 or 120-day program, you need to send somebody 50 pounds overweight with varicose veins, pimples all over their ass, and a mustache. I'll sign up for that one because I know it's true. Oh, was he? Oh, he loved to drink. Stobe liked to drink too. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I rode freight trains a lot, man, when I was younger. For like 2 years all the time. Man, I rode them all the way down south into Mexico, all the way up along the West Coast. I got in one in Northern California and damn near froze to death. Thing went up to Eugene, Oregon, up into the mountains. Fuck, me and another guy and his dog. I never been so cold in my life. I was thinking of jumping off while it was moving. It was so miserable. Fucking terrible, man. It was fun though. Well, from riding freight trains, man, you couldn't get dirtier. Man, you look like you swept chimneys after you rode a train. It was fun as hell though. But that's all stuff now that's just kind of going by the wayside. If you look at most trains, you're riding outside. You're not seeing boxcars with doors open and all that kind of shit. Like if you look where Stobe was like hiding and that other guy, and they get in an engine or caboose here and there. Oh, you think you would, Kelly? Yeah, but we're at the end of the road now. You're smarter now. Your hormones are down. Common sense kicks in. You'd rather do like me, watch birds instead of go out on a date. The fire is just barely alive. But there's a part of your brain that still has this flicker of possibilities, even though it's practically nothing. Yeah. Oh, no kidding, Drifter, huh? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, I think it's fun riding them. I'm a little surprised that they don't really pursue charging these people on these riding these trains. Why don't they? And and that's federal, as you know. And there's all sorts of extra penalties and bullshit they can do to you when you get nailed with a federal deal. That's the same thing, by the way. If you go to any of these national parks, those are federal. Those park rangers are federal. You get a ticket or you get into a problem, it's a whole nother ball game in federal court than it is going to some state court. Yeah, but does anybody actually get charged with it? I mean, how do you not get caught? I mean, I don't see how do you not get caught? I mean, if you see somebody, let's say you see somebody on a train, you call up, do they actually do anything about it? Oh, thermal cameras. Yeah, I believe that. I mean, it seems like it'd be easy to catch people riding on trains. Yeah, facts. Oh, Melanie, she's smart. She never got married. I mean, marriage, who knows? I mean, it's when you catch a person who you meet at a certain time in your life. You don't want to lose them. Maybe you think you could control them. Fuck, who knows? There's a million reasons. And, I've found that in people that I know, you're always kind of curious. You want to meet their spouse because you just want to see who puts up with this asshole. And it's not always the best sex. It's not always the best looking, the most money, the best family money, the greatest career. It's interesting how what people choose to pull the trigger with marriage on, compared to other people they've crossed paths with in their life. Actually, I was just good friends with my wife before I got married to her. I wasn't really into her that much, to be honest with you. We just kind of got to be friends, and yeah, we were really good friends too. I mean, we went on double dates. Her boyfriend and my girlfriend. It's not like when we were on the double date, I thought, man, but I like to date her myself. It was never like that. I thought she was all right, pretty and all that kind of stuff. Oh, no kidding. Interesting. Yeah, Rico. Yeah. Yep. That's good. Well, they did charge a lot of white collar criminals though with Rico. Yeah, they did. No, it's not what you inspect. That's because, nobody really tells you. You don't really know the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, I think and you mature, you get better, you get worse. I mean, I think I'd be a good guy if I was married now. There's nothing fucking left. Fucking 69, all the years old, all the good shits is gone. Yeah, the good chemistry, they say all that bullshit, but how many people, what are the chances of you changing at the same rate the person? I mean, living the rest of your life with the same person. I mean, who in the hell that's married out there who doesn't want to try some new sex or fucking take a new trip with a new lover? I mean, why not? Rather than just cashing in. I mean, these are just normal things. And some people, then you end up foregoing that. I mean, why are there so many people that did the marriage thing that lasted for better or for worse? And they're adamant they'd never do it again. Well, it was so fucking great. It seems like you'd be loving to do it again, and you're not. I mean, I just think as life in this country evolves, you don't need to. And I don't think marriage should be an endurance test. I don't. I mean, sometimes you just like to fuck someone new, plain and simple. Yeah, and minus that, I mean, you can get all that other shit somewhere else. Friends, fishing buddies, fucking bingo, book club. It's that fucking new sex that's got you thinking that shit in the back of your mind. I mean, just look at your spouse. You've been married 30 years. You look over, they're 50 pounds overweight, and that's your sex life until the day you die. Just make you want to blow your fucking head off. I mean, it's normal thoughts. Now, can you contain those thoughts? Can you corral your own behavior? Yeah. Look at the same penis the rest of your life. Yeah. Isn't that the truth? Yeah. Hopefully it's a big one. Yeah. Oh, swingers. I went to a swingers thing. I told you that down in Toledo. Yeah, I'm a typical guy. I want to screw your wife, but I don't want you screwing mine. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good for you, Melanie. Yeah, we've had this discussion on here before. Penis size. Doesn't seem we can ever get to a truthful conversation. I say this all the time about women. If we're going somewhere and you say, "Wow," a woman will say, "Wow, look at that big, beautiful bouquet of flowers," or "God, that's a big German Shepherd," or "Look at the size of that cat." It's like, wow, these are big oranges. And then you ask her about their prior lovers, size of their penises, and she doesn't really remember. It's like, you don't really remember. It's like, no, I just, I guess they're all about the same. They were not all about the same. It's just this thing. It's like birds flying south, salmon jumping upstream. There's a part of women's intellect that just is like vultures, just learning to eat right out of the egg. There's just certain things in women that's just not really talked about much. It's just the way it is. That's probably because they know, what if you say, take for an example, Melanie, you're with your guy, right? Your baby daddy. And you're sitting in bed and you're sipping a couple glasses of wine. And he said, I want to ask you something. I just appreciate it if you'd be honest with me. He's completely honest. It's like, okay. It's like, it's going to be a little weird. I hope I don't regret asking. No, no, honey, I love you. We have an open relationship. It's like, well, I'd like to know, did the last guy you were with before me, was his penis bigger than mine? She'd say, hell yeah, way bigger. I bet it was 4 inches bigger. And then there's silence. I mean, how do you come back from that? So it's the old thing, be careful what you ask about, right? You might not want the answer. And she'll say, that was huge. It was the biggest one I ever saw. But you're one that's like about half that size. It's just all I really need. Yeah, it's not working. Yeah, I know. And it is facts, but women just will not do it. No, they won't. They won't do it. And you do different things with different people. Yeah. No, they'll lie their fucking ass. All these poor little dick fuckers. I mean, they know they got a little dick by looking around in locker rooms and watching porn and shit. And they may ask the question once in a while to the girlfriend, but they just don't want it confirmed like that. They want to think that, all the porn and all that shit is just these freaks and that they're really average when they're not. Any woman that I was like good friends with, that I talked like about intimate stuff like that, they all liked a big dick, plain and simple. It's the way it is. I mean, as opposed to a small one. Yeah, forget that how you use it and all this kind of bullshit. Same lie women tell when they get breast augmentations. They want to get a big old set of tits put on to attract more men, plain and simple. But they'll tell you stuff like it makes their dresses fit better. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a lot better than getting more dick. Yeah, the little guys. What a drag that must be to just be like that as a male. Maybe they make up at some other kind of way. But I think it's a factor. I mean, when's the last time you were driving down an expressway and saw a big billboard on make your penis smaller? Never. You never will. Do you ever see remember the old magazines ads? Anybody talk about making your penis smaller? No. And even when the women go and get these breast reductions, these aren't big, firm 36Cs that you couldn't even put a pencil under the bottom. These are these women that lost 200 fucking pounds. Their tits are like jello. They're coming out the top, the sides, the front. Now that I can understand cutting a couple pounds off those because they're just not, but people talk about breast augmentation, breast reduction, and they're just these big, sloppy jello tits. No girl with a perfect set of 36 C's or D's is doing a thing to those other than praying to her Lord and Savior every night that they're big. Oh, it was sad. Yeah. God, man. It affected your relationship, didn't it, Kelly? Better believe it did. Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny. These are all the things, you go out on a date or something, you meet them someplace, you meet, it's like, or they introduce you to. That's why the real good stuff, the one you're really introduced, you've already met them. Now you're trying to work on the date, but things come up. You're going to meet somebody you never met them before. The first thing that popped into my mind, I'd look, it's like, oh, she's really pretty, but no tits. That sounds terrible. Now, can you overcome that? Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with having parts of anatomy that you're attracted to. And if it's not there, not being attracted to it. They want to make you out and give you 5 years in prison because you like big boobs. It shouldn't be that way. It's like I'm not attracted to black women at all. Even good-looking, light-skinned ones with straight hair. Just not. It's not because I think they're ugly or I don't wish them happiness. I'm just not. I don't like Indian women. They all strike me as like super hairy. Oh, thank you. Oh, you can? Yeah. Yeah, it must be because I just take one shot and get the hell out of there. I don't really spend a lot of time on taking photos. I like that run and gun stuff. It's not a photo studio. Well, thank you. Yeah, lucid dreaming. I mean, and here's another thing too. Like, say an example. Say all of us are sitting at a big round table right now, and you're there with your husband or your boyfriend or your baby daddy or whoever, you're not really going to say too much about this shit because you don't want, how your significant other is, what they think. You don't want to make them feel bad. So you're not at liberty to just, there's something to be said for being tactful, not want to hurt somebody's feelings. I mean, if a big fat lady came up to me and had a mini dress on, said, "Don't I look great?" I'd say, "Yeah, you do. You look really good in that." Because it's not costing me anything. I don't want to hurt her feeling. Is that a lie? Absolutely. I do lie when it comes to stuff like that. But when you got your own mind going on, I always thought that this would be really interesting. Say you go out on a date or the first time you had sex with somebody, just think if you could have, like, say you're a guy and you're on top and the woman's on the bottom. If you could just have like an imaginary, she couldn't see it. It could even be a real screen for that matter. And her thoughts came across the screen as you were having sex. Just think how great it would be and how you could enhance it. I mean, she could be like saying, she could be thinking, "I can't wait till this is over. God, this guy's got a small dick. His breath smells. Are we going to be here forever? God, this is nothing like the guy I had before you." I mean, just think how that would be. Wouldn't it be crazy? Just think how much better you'd be too. Just think how much better it'd make you. It's something to think about, isn't it? I think more often than not it would ruin it. I'll tell you why it would ruin it, because it would be truthful. I mean, how bad is sex with a new person? I mean, it's not like you're not ringing any bells on it, but it's not bad. It's better than nothing. See, that's another thing that happens as you get older too. I'm really convinced that there's a lot of people out there that never really had good sex. I've talked to lots of women that never had orgasms till they ran into old Tom Reed here. Really? They did. Yeah, Viagra. Yeah. Viagra. 6-hour hard on. Oh my God. They said go to the emergency room. Oh God. Yeah, I'm not sure about this Viagra. I mean, if there's a physiological deal, like a diabetic as an example, that's the first thing to go. If some of you don't know it already, is you can't get a good hard on if you're a diabetic. Yeah, what a drag, huh? Yeah. At least you got a good excuse. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, it's probably true. Yeah, Viagra. But being a diabetic, yeah, it's the first thing to go. Yeah, they probably would. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, there are the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. I still have your pain books, but I'm waiting to get a couple more, Callie. Here's another thing too. It's like you could never really. That's why if you like when you're my age, when you couple everything you've done, the availability of what you'd have to get now, the likelihood at this age of finding like something really good, it's almost like zero. You know what I mean? That's why it's like, so, it's like chipping away at anything. There's just more reasons not to do it than to do it. And I don't think, I've said all along, I think good sex is born. I think they're born. Hey, John, I think there's things you can do to improve, but man, I've just like Tracy Lords, people like that. They're just like that from day one. And there's people that just aren't. They're not like that. And there never will be. And they just never really gong that bell really good. They did it just to please a guy or a guy to please a girl, but they just never really hit that upper level of like really super good sex. No, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. Yeah, you don't have good sex until you divorce your husband. Absolutely right. And I think a lot of these women that get married young that never have affairs or separations, They go to their grave never really knowing what it was like to get wrecked. I mean, good, but it's to each his own, right? Yeah, it's really possible. I think that's really possible. Yeah. And almost always anybody that like talks or alludes to how good they are, hey Pocahontas, how you doing? I bet the worst you could ever have is these strippers and stuff like that. And 99% of porno women, I bet it's just terrible. It's not like what you're thinking. They slide up and down that pole and wink. It's all a bunch of bullshit. Yeah. There's some librarian that just crushed them when it came to competition. Good. How you been? Where you been lately? Yeah, it's weird how that works. You can't get a straight answer out of anybody either. That's another thing too. When you're young and you're feeling things out and you don't know much, you know what you think you like. Hopefully you're not too big a pervert so you can bring it up. But that takes a long time to really perfect the good stuff. Like knocking out fillings and stuff like that. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is too. But it's all over the map. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, there's some people that just do it to have kids, and some people that don't get enough of it, some people that never cared if they had it, that kind of thing. Yeah, crazy. And the difference you have between women that you want a permanent relationship and women that you'd like to have recreational sex with. Yeah, I say that something is always going to give. You're not going to get it all in one big package. And even if you do, you're going to eventually get sick of that too. All over the map, it sure is. Yeah, he didn't have high blood pressure, did he? Yeah. Well, one thing that shut a lot of people up, and that is that they say that funded the internet porn. I mean, I don't know. Really, I can tell you this. I have never really met a woman my whole life that liked watching porn. I mean, to go out and rent it and watch it on her own. Yeah, you may get a guy to kind of talk them into it, or they'll go to some sex therapy thing and play one or some bullshit like that. I'm talking about a girl that would watch one like a guy would. I'm sure it happens, but I'll bet you money if you got into the databases on Pornhub and Spank Bang and all those, you'd find I would bet you'd find less than 5% of women watching porn regularly. It's just a different way their mind works. Your elbow. Yeah, I'm back to watching it. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, good for you. Congratulations. Yeah, it is rare. It happens. And I think some people too, you could be a guy that just there's a benchmark for being satisfied, and that's good enough for you. You're just a type personality where you're not going to get sick of something when you think you've reached the highest level. That's good. I mean, this is what makes, these golden wedding anniversaries happen sometimes, I think, you know? You're probably right, Rose. And here's another weird thing too, Rose, on that. You do different things with different people. It's weird. Different things with different people. You'll do things with some guys you wouldn't do with others. Isn't that interesting? So weird. Yeah, I'm back to porn. Probably would, yeah. I do watch porn. Well, I can tell you what I did with mine. I knew I liked this at an early age. I'd rather watch porn than like, have a girlfriend. I really would. It's like way more exciting to me. But I knew heading into like my like late 20s and ever since that I just made my own. No shit. Just like hired people. I did. Imagine this. So say whatever you're into, right? I never really had anything like out of the box. Whatever you're into and you really like it, and this really is like good. Once you reach that level, everything seems like not worth the trouble. You know what I mean? So let's say you thought of your best sexual fantasies, what really knocked your damn fillings out. I mean, something that you'll go back to 3 or 4 times in a day if nobody's around. I'm talking about watching porn. And once you get to that level and you like do that and you create it yourself and you don't miss a beat and you've done this like a bunch of times and you videoed it, there's nothing outside of that that's going to come close. And I think it's kind of analogous to the same kind of different avenues that cause people to be alcoholics and drug addicts. It's a part of that brain. And that just casual dating and normal sexual relationships through dating different people is just like boring. Hey, Jeff. Yeah, but to each his own, right? I know women, I've met women in my life, they find out I like porn. It's like, that's it. They don't want to have a thing to do with me. Well, that's fine. Then it worked because I don't see any reason. I know guys that like hide porn from their wives. I don't want to do that either. So, I mean, like I said, I mean, if you had everything in your mind that you were satisfied with a woman and she didn't like porn, would you hide it? Well, I'd like to think that I wouldn't. And usually it was either you keep watching porn or I'm leaving. Well, it was fun while it lasted. Now, are there women out there that are just open arms and it's like, well, if that's what you like, that's no problem. Well, if that's what you like, you're not going to find a whole lot of time for them. It's just the way it is. So the argument is, does porn hurt sexual relationships? Yeah. If the other person isn't into it, better believe it does. Because it's just not as fun. I mean, would you go out and look for rotten bananas instead the ones that weren't? It's the same kind of thing. So in that sense, it does not, and I just can't imagine there being enough outside of that to make up for quitting that because of someone you were involved in. I mean, it never even come close to me. If they didn't like porn, see you later. Oh, you'll be jealous, yeah. And I mean, here's another thing. That's interesting you should bring that up because it's like you wouldn't be jealous if you really knew me because you would realize that, I'm upfront about everything. It's not that. And it isn't like I don't think like a woman is just as attractive as they are. I don't know what it is. It's an odd bunch of things that cause a person to be like this. I don't know why. I mean, I'm glad it wasn't something worse like, arsonist or a pedophile or a bomber or some shit like that. I mean, there are way worse things to do it. I mean, I think you're either that way or not. I don't want to say it's like being gay or straight, but I mean, it's really kind of hard to tame the horse if that's the kind of brain you have. Oh, you don't hide it at all? Yeah. Yeah, I'd pass on the real thing if I could get, like I said, I did it for like a long time. So I had stacks of shit that I did on my own I mean, I'd have to spend like 10,000 hours surfing porn channels to find something that I liked that I did on my own. So in a way, it saved me time. Yeah, unique way. Yeah, different for sure. I'm not trying to sell anybody on porn. I'm just talking from my own experience. Yeah, yeah, and you could say, well, that's just so shallow. Well, okay. I can understand how you'd feel that way. And you know what? Maybe it is. Maybe it is shallow. But everybody doesn't just come into this world and age and everything just somehow kind of works its way into this perfect scenario because you went to therapy, you read self-help books, and you worked on things that you didn't think were good for you. And it's like there's plenty of things out there that are legal that are not good for you. And porn's probably one of them. Overall. Yeah, different strokes. Well put. Oh, have you really? I don't know why, because I don't monetize these things. Yeah, but it's a super turn. What? Want to go pee-pee? Treat? You want a treat? Hang on, let me get Daisy a treat. You want a treat? Treat? All right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm not recommending it. But if you're not like, as an example, like voyeurism or something like that, maybe that's kind of like how porn is. If you're not into it, you're never going to understand it. I mean, I had some cute girlfriends. My wife, I thought, was pretty. So did everybody else. And I would have guys or people that I knew or women that I was friends with. It's like, why in God's name would you watch porn with a wife like that? Well, it's like easy. I mean, they're missing the whole point here. It's not that. It's not like you can't get that with attractive people outside of that. It's just you'd rather watch porn. Oh, commercials? What kind of commercials are they? Are they about porn? And I've had women that I've crossed paths with in my life say, "Well, I'll watch some porn with you." It's like, nah, that's okay. That's all right. It doesn't interest me at all. Like maybe a college kid, thinks that if he can get the girl down the hall to watch porn, he's gonna screw. I don't know what they're thinking, but I'm not too interested in girlfriends watching it with me. I've already got a stack of movies when Stephanie gets down here. We got nothing to lose. I don't want any bloody noses, though, Stephanie. I'll tell you that. See, I wouldn't even want that. I wouldn't even want that. I'd find it distracting. I just like watching it. It's weird, crazy. And here's the thing, too. Like, if you said to me, yeah, I've had women ask me, they thought about going into porn. I highly recommend it against it. This is like one of these things, right? You tell people don't smoke and you own 10,000 acres and you're growing tobacco. I mean, I wouldn't recommend getting into that at all, but it's there and I watch it. What can I say? But I wouldn't, it's not a good way to make a living for all sorts of reasons. No, it sure did. Yeah. No, I'm not sure what that says about society, really. I mean, I'm not trying to say that because, there's porn channels all over that, I've told you people all along, everybody's watching it, but there's got to be something to it about its popularity and the amount of it in massage parlors and strip clubs and horror houses. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, I don't like sell it as just this hierarchy of honesty. It's just one of these things, the way your mind works. Like old maids or some women that just, I know people, I have met women in my life that never had sex. Never had sex, didn't interest them, didn't want it, grew up to be like old maids, walk dogs and stuff like that, joined book clubs. And they were attractive. Oh, they do? Yeah, well, I've found it seems to me like as people get older that, by that time, the old flames kind of flicker. I mean, what if you've been married to the same guy 30 years and it runs its typical course like a lot of relationships do? I mean, why would it bother you? You know what I mean? Now, if you were a nymphomaniac that didn't like porn, that's where the problem starts. Yeah, we sure are. And how about this? Do you think there's any relationship at all to like men watching porn and women making themselves as attractive as possible for men? I mean, I'm not saying they're related, but you get what I'm saying. I mean, it seems like, this is a part of human interaction and that women do what they can to enhance themselves to be attractive to men, even if they're in an asexual relationship with someone they've been married to for a long time. They still want to look attractive to other men that they never plan on doing anything with. I find that really interesting. Stephanie says herself that you hear how she talks on here with her regard to potential romance, but yet she still wears makeup when she goes out, which is interesting to me. I mean, look good for who if you're not interested in it? Yeah, going through the motions. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, looks are deceiving. You got that right. Yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, Stephanie, why do you wear makeup when you go out if you're not looking for men? I mean, who are you looking good for? You think they should always look good? Yeah, but I mean, I don't, but I mean, can you really say as a woman, Lucid, that makeup fits that explanation? I mean, you're looking more attractive. I mean, are you looking more attractive for yourself? And this is where it gets murky. No, you said someplace you go and you still wear makeup. Oh, lipstick only. Oh, okay. Well, how about that then? Why do you wear lipstick? Why do you wear it? Because I think it enhances you. It makes you more attractive. And I'm just wondering, it's a little murky there where you look good for yourself. You know, I read an excerpt one time in a magazine. I thought it was pretty interesting. And they said, well, there's a time in a woman's life where the bag boy quits flirting and it bothers them. You talking about my house, Rogue? Yeah, I wanted to make Stephanie feel very comfortable when she visits here. I plugged up the holes in all the cameras in the showers in the bedroom. I didn't want to make her think for a second that her privacy was being invaded. Yeah, cameras. It's too over the years now. That's a felony now in a lot of states for filming somebody during sex without their consent. Oh, you like to look good for yourself? Oh, okay, all right. No, but if you were mentally inside minus the makeup, why couldn't you do that just mentally as opposed to, would you, how about this, Lucy? Would you agree that makeup makes you prettier, makes you more physically attractive? Other than that, what's it do? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's creepy, like filming people that don't want to be filmed. That is pretty weird. They caught the Bucky's gas station guy's son. He had cameras in some of the bathrooms of their rental homes. Chuck Berry, he liked watching women urinate. Makes is the pedals. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it is too. But I just have a hard time buying that you put makeup on to look better for yourself. I don't get that part. I mean, what? I'm not knocking you. I'm just curious about this. So do you just like look in the mirror and it's like, oh yeah, right, yep. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, I'm just curious about it. You wonder what goes through people's mind. I've seen a couple of women in my life where they didn't have their makeup on. I didn't recognize them. And for a while, these Hollywood people were doing this naked thing where you could, where they didn't put on makeup on. It's like, holy Christ, don't do that again. I mean, once in a blue moon, I'll get together with somebody and it's like, they said, well, I'm going to get some new makeup. It's like, wear as much makeup as possible, please. Oh, okay. All right. But once you're married, like you are, and nothing's going anywhere outside the home, don't you have the cat in the bag? Oh, you're lucky, Jeff. I also know a few women that sounded like Michelle now, that they were really good looking most of their life. And they got around 60, they just gave up. I don't know whether they thought they were fighting a losing battle or what. Yeah, men do cheat. I can tell you this, though, if you've ever been cheated on as a female, and that is that I can't give you a single example of where the guy was cheating on was anywhere near as good as the person that he was married to. Men are just like, it's like rut and deer season, man. They'll throw good things away over just a new romp in the hay with something brand new. No, not every man does. That's true. No, not. I don't think they meant to say that every man does. Yeah, yeah. When Stephanie was in her 20s, she said that men love to cheat, and now that she's an older woman, she thinks she doesn't think it goes on anymore. Oh, it's a losing battle. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I wonder about that sometimes. I was thinking about this actually last night. I was thinking, like, is it possible where you could really fall in love with a person that was just an old, wrinkled hag that didn't put on makeup anymore? Is that possible? I think it is. Yeah, you good girl. You good girl. I think it is. You good girl, honey. You up here? What? Want another treat? This dog is so spoiled. Want a treat? All right. And here's another way of looking at it, too. No matter what, that life is one just big compromise. There's always going to be some missing, whether it's looks, sex, somebody with a good sense. I mean, do you think, people as they get older, they start talking like a good sense of humor can make up for good sex? I say bullshit. But maybe there's an age range where that happens. Oh, yeah. Daisy is so spoiled. It's ridiculous. When I run around here screaming over different things, she goes under the bed. Then I quit and she'll come out and want a treat. Crazy. I shouldn't do it. I know. I sound like a lunatic, man. I'm not kidding you. I think, how about this? You just kind of muddle your way through life and hope for the best. Yeah, she can. Yeah, she can. Yep. I think you just muddle through life and you just take it, and you always got these things on your mind. You're just hoping for the best. You know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. You know, see, it's down to 36 now. Yeah, down to 36. That's kind of cold. I didn't think it was supposed to get this cold this tonight. I just put new batteries in my temperature thing. What's this thing? You know, I told you guys this before. You know, they report this weather from official reporting points. It's just not some guy with a alcohol thermometer out stuck in his window. It has to come from an official reporting point. And a lot of times, where the weather is reported in your area is from the closest airport, like it is here. And in this case, it's like 21 and 26 miles away. So when they say on my phone that it's 40 here, it is not. It's colder than that because you're not anywhere near here. Next time you're fooling around the internet, look at where they're getting your temperature from where you live. You'll be surprised sometimes how far away it is. A ham sandwich, that a girl, Mama Cass. That poor lady. She just could never get away with the rumors that she died choking on a ham sandwich. Yeah, what a nasty thing to say on an overweight woman with a good voice. You know, I think about Mama Cass from time to time. You know that Michelle, the blonde? Here after all the shows, hey, how you doing? For real. Here after all the shows, there's 1,000 guys wanting to take Michelle out. And Mama Cass just saunters off to the buffet. Goes back, reads a romance novel. She's eating a ham sandwich. I mean, is this sad or not? I mean, for all we know, Mama Cass was the smartest one of them all. Died in her sleep. Probably thinking of a big ham. I mean, is that sad or not? What? It's the last one you're getting. What? What? Come on. Oh. Okay. Wow. It's over there. It's over here. Look. Come on. Get it. Here. Poor old Mama Cass. But see, these are the kind of things that you create in your own mind that may not be valid. I mean, for all we know, Mama Cass was having just the greatest dream in the world when she died. We're assuming that she was unhappy, and maybe she wasn't. Oh, she did have a. Oh, it was sad, huh? Oh, really? It was a bandmate. Which one? Which one? Holy crap! He probably said he'd kill her. If you ever tell anybody I was screwing you, I'll blow your head off. I didn't know she had a baby. Was she showing? I mean, Mama Cass seems like one of those women that you never knew was pregnant. Oh, she was. Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I did see it. Water main. Yeah, I feel bad for those people. You know, that happens with flooding and that. It's like the last time they worked on that system was like 1930. Yeah, she did have a good voice. Yeah. I mean, I wonder sometimes too. Do you think Mama Cass had a problem getting laid, being famous? Huh? Maybe he was into like heavy chicks. I mean, there's a fetish for that. No, it's weird. Yeah, it's strange. That's an odd area down there. That floods a lot, even when mains don't break. That's where Maddie and Gerald were from down around that area. Delray, that kind of area. Yeah, it's just a impoverished area. It's like not a lot of attention is paid. Yeah, it's fucking cold too. Water mains break and it's like 22 degrees out and everything freezes. Just terrible. All your shit gets wet, cold. You got to go to some dumpy hotel. Oh, never publicly get the. Oh, really? No kidding. I didn't know that. Huh. Yeah, it was a good voice. Here's another thing too, though. If you shut your eyes, I mean, I think I'm not saying this is true, but I've seen this happen in other things where it's like the retard that is a genius, or if you shut your eyes, was it really a beautiful voice, or did you just kind of have to say something like that to validate that you could have a good voice and still be huge? I mean, this does not matter, but it's logical to think this. You know who's strange looking, man? I can't quite figure this out. She was good looking when she was really young, but I don't know what happened. What's going on with this Lady Gaga? I mean, she looks fucking trans to me. Oh my God. Well, you got lucky, huh? Yeah. How would you like to be the daddy of Mama Cass's baby? Holy shit. I'd want them to tell people after I was dead, too. God, what was he? Drunk, high, what? Well, I think she got the benefit of the doubt. People like to do that too. They like to, I noticed that when I was interviewing prostitutes, people like wanted to Facebook them and shit, how cool they were. Hey, yeah, I got a friend that's a prostitute, Maddie, and they do it with black people. Yeah, one of my best friend, and it's in the Mama Cat kind of along this kind of lines of like, you're just going to show how non-biased and judgmental you are by raving about the voice of this just 450 pounder that can't push herself away from a buffet. I just think there's something to it. That if Mama Cass, if you blindfolded everybody, or she was a knockout, dead, gorgeous, beautiful woman, if you would have referred to her more about being a good singer that was beautiful, and there wasn't much left to say about Mama Cass other than her voice. And I just wonder if that gets accentuated because of people in their bullshit. Yeah, I mean, she's strange looking to me. She's always looked weird, though, over the years. I mean, why is somebody in their 20s wearing wigs already? You know? Yeah, Madonna, and she's strange. I never found her one bit attractive at all. Just kind of a plain, pasty white chick that thought she was hot. And Cher, oh my God. I mean, that's about as good as you're going to look at 80, but come on. What they don't show you when they do one of those concerts, like Tina Turner, they're in bed for a fucking week. And Mick Jagger, too. I bet that son of a bitch has 20 chiropractors working on him after a show. Massages, heating pads, muscle relaxers, fucking IVs. I mean, you're not bullshitting me. They're egos. I don't think it was minus 14. Maybe some wind chill bullshit. But wind chill only matters on things that are alive. Yeah, but she's just strange looking. Yeah, I mean, I get the theatrical stuff, but there's something going on there, man. She looks like she's had cheap plastic surgery. I mean, just something weird. I mean, her face is starting to look like someone that, like Joan Rivers, and she's not that old. Yeah, 14 degrees. Now we're talking. Yeah. Yeah, Mick Jagger. I mean, you can't beat it for his age. But same with like Keith Richards. If he'd have been down with Maddie and Gerald, he'd have been dead 30 years ago. Oh, 41 and raining? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that Lady Gaga's strange looking to me. I really don't. It seems like the women aren't as good looking as they used to be. I'll tell you what's really went downhill is cheerleaders, pros and college, even high school. They're just nothing compared to the old days. Beauty contest either. It's kind of like the dunk contest in the NBA. I mean, the really good looking, gorgeous women, they don't even mess with it. I don't know what the hell's going on out there. You'll see something like here's Miss Colorado. It's like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, plastic surgery. You know who that Clarissa Thompson, ESPN, one of those shows, Fox. I don't know where she's at now. She's the one that had that baby with Jason Williams, the basketball player. She's done something to her lips. It just looks terrible. Oh, Sharon Osbourne, but she's a bitch too. What a nasty lady. Rude. Reminds me of that judge I had in Florida. Just super rude. Yeah, bitch too. I think Ozzy'd have been dead 40 years ago too without her. She wanted to keep that money train going. Well, you know who's really looking like it's not gonna be around much longer is Phil Collins. Big time alcoholic his whole life. Really caught up to him. Yeah, why do they do all that kind of shit? Overfilling their cheeks. I mean, here Lucid talks about putting on a little makeup to feel good. I mean, what is going through the minds of these women when they're doing this shit? They want to stay attractive. I mean, that's just like a world away of just putting on a little makeup. You know? Yeah, no, yeah. Alcohol. That's what got him. A lot of these people. Big cocaine users. Robin Williams, Michael J. Fox, Kirk Gibson, Bob Probert. Yeah, he really does. Paul Simon. Yeah, he sure does. And look at Frankie Valli. Oh my God. He fell asleep singing the other day somewhere. Or Bobby Vinton. I get them mixed up. Bobby Vinton, Frankie Valli. I mean, it looks like it looks like Halloween. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right about that, Lucid. Andy Gibb, he was the best looking one of them all. That's for sure. That damn Victoria Principal fucked his mind. Couldn't handle it. He died of endocarditis. Same thing the drug addicts die from. Kelly, the girl from Monroe that I interviewed a long time ago, prostitute in Detroit. I don't know why do they do this with their cheeks and lips? Yeah, I mean, you see some of these people like that manage to like they'll do these things on the internet now, where then and now, and some of the women look better now than they did then, but not many, and I can only attribute that to like top notch, successful, A+ plastic surgery. Overfilling cheeks. Yeah, I don't like that fake boobs. I don't like fake boobs myself. Yeah, then the butts. Holy God, how gross. Sideshow freaks, yeah, you're not kidding. No, Wayne Newton, yeah. Look at Kenny Rogers before he died. Holy God. Look at Dolly Parton's even weird looking. Yeah, trying to defy. But why are they trying to defy it? Will you tell me that, Virginia? Jeff, why are they trying to defy it? Look at Joan Rivers before she croaked. Who'd ever thought of dentist would finish her off? Oh, these fake teeth. These people with these white teeth. I mean, who are they bullshitting? I like natural too. Yeah. Just two big gold saggy tits and a fat ass with hair all over it. Natural. I mean, it seems like when you get women my age, they need to take like a fucking week to get ready for a date to satisfy me. I mean, for me to be attracted to them. I know this sounds absolutely terrible. I've mentioned it before, but I've old airline pilot told me, I've said it 1,000 times. When you get older, or even when you're younger, he said deep down, man, it's almost impossible for me to get together with women that I don't want to have sex with. That sounds terrible, which has hardly like been that way like forever. Which is why it's such a joke when some of these lunatics try and get a hold of me through YouTube. I mean, you guys know what I'm really like. But like I said, they think older guy. I think they're just used to getting such attention from like older guys that they think I'm just going to be another one of these older guys that couldn't be further from the truth. You could be like 25 and beautiful, and I probably still wouldn't want to screw with it, to be honest with you. Yeah, youthfulness. But for what, Callie? Maintain it for what? Maintain it for what? I mean, where does youth get you? Youthfulness get you other than more sex? This is what I'm trying to get down to. Now, Lucid came through with a pretty good answer. Yeah. Stephanie said when she was a young, attractive woman that she used to really pay attention to make sure nobody dropped anything in her drink. Didn't you, Stephanie? Yeah, keep up the image, but for what? To keep up the image for what? I mean, like Stephanie says too, she said that she'd still like to, even though she doesn't get horny anymore. It's been a couple decades since she got a good drilling. That she'd still like to go and see attractive male strippers. Now, this is where I get confused. But I'm kind of like that too. I mean, appreciate attractive women, even though I'm not really looking for any. Nobody wants to look like a has-been. Yeah, has-been. Well, I think that's what about aging gracefully? What about aging gracefully? You know? How about this? How about this? How about this, Lucid? And I'll ask you this too, Kelly. Is it possible for women to be happily married and it's still important to you to be attractive to men that aren't your husband? Respect? Yeah. Yeah, Stephanie tells me like it is. Do you think, Kelly and Lucid, do you think it's important to you to look attractive to men other than your husband? Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I shouldn't do that. Jumbos. I'm trying to be nice. Plus size? Well, they counteracted it with big, beautiful women. I mean, is there such a thing? I say no. No fucking way. This is why I could never be a politician. Big, beautiful women. They show them like in these spandex, man. You're just on a skateboard, and I'm thinking, oh, you're full of shit. No way. Taking karate classes up your ass. I don't believe it. I've seen these fat women on these horses out here ride by my house, and I think that fucking horse, my God, just testimony to the strength of a horse's spine. I mean, I'm not kidding you. There's women that ride these horses that got to weigh 350. I mean, I don't know how much you can put on a horse's back. It seems like, though, in the middle there between his legs, 350 pounds, and be like, God damn, what's supporting that spine? That's a lot of weight in the middle. It's not like they're up on his shoulders or on the back of his ass. I mean, I think it's animal abuse. No, thank you, Stephanie. That's right. I can always count on Stephanie to come through. No, nothing graceful about it at all. Yeah, it sounds better than ugly old bitch. It's like the people that go to the convalescent homes and talk about all the cute old women. Yeah. Yeah, you need fucking glasses. That's what I always say. I wonder how these women get up on these horses, to be honest with you. I mean, there's no fucking way they can put just one foot in the stirrup and not spin that saddle around to the bottom of its belly. Somebody's got to be holding something down on the other side, or they're lowering them down with a high-low. I mean, come on. I mean, you don't need to be a science major to wonder how the hell they get on there. That fucking horses must be thinking he's getting slaughtered. I mean, 350 pounds and a 6-inch width of your shoe on the stirrup. What the fuck? Oh, do they really have those? Hey, are you shitting me? I never heard of that. I mean, it seems logical. Step ladder. Yeah, but I'll tell you, if you ever look at the weight limits on step ladders, unless it's just some super duper custom one, man, they're going to tell you not get on the top step if you're over 275. Oh, you think you will, Callie? You think you really would? Get a facelift? Oh, often air availability. I dress modest. I don't flirt. People are going to cheat however they look. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah. But how about this? Here's one just for the sake of conversation, Lucid. How about this one? You know how you're laying around the house, you don't do shit, hair's a mess, no makeup. Like with your husband on the weekend sometimes. You're not putting all this shit on for him when you're just lounging around the house, not giving a fuck. Would you dare go in the office like that? Even though you plan on no affairs, you're modest, all that bullshit you just said. Would you go into the office looking like that about men you never planned on having any kind of sexual interest in? Yes or no? No, that's a problem. That is a problem. I agree. Well, these are all things that's important that we address these things rather than the bullshit at a cocktail party. Like if I was at a cocktail party now and we were all drinking, this came up and I had clients or I was trying to not look like a fucking lunatic, I would not be talking all this shit. I'd be saying, oh yeah, Mama Cass, what a great voice. Yeah, it's really unbelievable. She was really a beautiful person. I mean, she seemed to care. And I'd just be fucking bullshit my ass off. But not here. This is why we have these chats. To get right to the goddamn truth. Yeah, you'd rather be late to work than roll out of bed. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're getting someplace. Yeah, fox hunt too. Yeah, something like you said one time. I think you made a comment about the type of women that are into horses. That fucking fruitcake I got rid of up in Michigan, she was really into horses. She couldn't afford them either. These fucking things cost like $1,000 a month to feed. They're always getting eye sores and fucking bullshit wrong with them. She doesn't even ride them. There's 4 fucking eating machines out there that you got to worry about. This doesn't make any sense to me. Even riding them. I mean, that's a long way down from a horse. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Man, you fall off a fucking horse. They all got those little helmets on now, too. I think you weigh 350 pounds and your head hits the ground. That fucking helmet isn't going to do shit. I mean, 350 pounds on the backside of a skull spearing into the ground, you're fucked. I don't know who they think they're shit, unless they just figure they're lucky enough to fall off on their side and then their head bangs, like when a boxer gets knocked out. Oh, really, Bruce? Oh, okay. No, I'm just saying, I think there's some really good people out there that are overweight. Where? I don't know. And I'm not saying that you can't be a good person and be a jumbo. I'm really not. I'm just talking about from a sexual attractive aspect. That's all. I just don't find them sexually attractive. Never will, never have, don't want to. I'm not saying they're bad people or somebody won't like them or some shit like that. Just my honest opinion. Yeah, poor horse. That's what I thought. I mean, God, 350 pounds between the his rear legs and the front legs. Holy shit. I guarantee you'd never see one of these women that ride these horses around here jumping over those things, where they jump over those poles and they got water running and stuff like that. No fucking way. Yeah, absolutely not. There's no horse that could like clear that with them on their back. Oh, they do. I didn't know that. Oh, really? Huh. Oh, yeah, vet bills. Oh, shit, yeah. You know, the guys that surprised me are the guys that put those horseshoes on them. Yeah, they do wear tight foot. They do. They do. Like those kind with like patches on the knees and stuff. Yeah. You're just huge. These horses look half fucking dead. It isn't one of these horses like rearing up on its back feet or any of that shit. These things look like they're a week away from the glue factory. They cart them around these $30,000 trailers, and it's nuts. I mean, it really is fucking crazy. I put a watering thing out for them so they could water their horses. I talk to them when I'm out there sometimes. They tell me how great I am. Yeah, 7-foot jumpers. I'm nice to them. I'm not like rude. I mean, I'm just talking about from like a sexual aspect. I get there's guys that are into it. Fuck, I put a goddamn watering thing out there for them. I just go out there and it's a science test to me. I look at him, I think, how is this fucking horse how are his legs not broke? They come by, sometimes they come in the driveway and say, are you the guy that put the thing for our horses to drink? I haven't seen one good looking one since I've lived here. 3 fucking years. It's one jumbo after another. I'm going to start asking them. I said, do you guys eat ham sandwiches? It's like, ham sandwiches? Like, what are you talking about? It's like, well, you remind me of Mama Cass. Cal, you really think you'd get a facelift? Kelly, now, if you think if something happened to hubby, do you think you'd ever be in the dating game again, or not really? And are looks just as important to you now as they were when you were younger, or do you have other things that interest you? Oh, you would? Oh, okay. Hey, here's another one too. Have you ever known any couples has anybody out there ever known any couples that had an open relationship? You know, kind of like Bill Cosby did. You know, his wife's got the American Express and he puts a roofie in all these girls' drink, and then the wife could give a shit. She had a good life. He had a good life. It's called an open relationship. That's how that Tucker's trying to get a lot of money from Michigan State, firing him, the football coach. Supposedly him and his wife had an open relationship. Now there are, fairy tale marriages. Jeff has one. Him and his wife, like happy, just like the days they were when they were dating. They've been married quite a while now. Oh, you do, huh? Oh, all right. Oh, you're not sure about dating? Okay. Well, I'm trying to find out, Shit, I don't think anybody want to go out with me anyway, to tell you the truth. Now, I will admit this, Mike. They do tell me they never think I'm as old as I am, but it isn't like it's like, they're sitting there finger banging themselves after I leave. Yeah, I might not look as old as I am, but that's it. That's the end of it. I look 65 instead of 69. I wish it was more than that. Oh, good for you, Bruce. You lucky guy. Oh my God, you poor bastard. Well, it made you feel good about yourself, though, didn't it? Oh, okay. Good for you, Bruce. Choking a ham sandwich. Good for you. I don't like ham, to tell you the truth. I don't like bacon that much either. It's not good for you either. Boy, it's down to 33. I was going to turn off my waters from dripping tonight. It wasn't supposed to get this cold. But again, it might not be this cold here. Yeah, good for you. That's a good. I hope if I ever have another threesome or foursome that the guy has a little dick. Imagine just showing up to that thing and your wife finally tells you she wants to live out her fantasy and she wants another man and you've been listening to this shit for 25 years and she just inherits 10 million. So you say, sure, yeah, why not? And you agree to go do it with her and like Johnny fucking Wad shows up. God. Holy shit. Imagine that. Imagine that, Bruce. What if Johnny Holmes would have showed up? You wouldn't be talking about it, I bet, would you? Oh, God. Yeah, the good news is he couldn't get a good hard on, but he could now, though. They didn't have Viagra back then. Yeah, small dicks only. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't think I want to do anything with another guy in the room. It's not like I'm a homophobe or anything like that. I just don't think I would. You know, I don't like ketchup on hamburgers. I mean, there's just certain things you don't like. I don't go into spending a lot of time and trying to figure out things I don't like. I just don't. I don't like it. I don't like green beans. Oh, you'd be embarrassed? Yeah, well, I would be too. Fuck, Johnny Wad showed up. I don't know if I'd be embarrassed, but it's something to be on my mind. It's like, holy shit. 3 girls, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be nice. I would like it. I sure would. If I was like Elon Musk or something, I'd probably like my whole empire would collapse over shit like that. They say Bill Gates was like an ass grabber in the office. I wouldn't do that, but boy, if I had some big ass company like that and I started it all and all these people were up working shit, it'd be hard not to, you know, want to do that. Fucking, I mean, you need to be fucking gay. See, if Bill Gates wasn't so fucking nerdy and fucking weird, nobody would have said shit about it. They'd have been honored to just go out and get a good dicking from him. But he was just like creepy over it, you know. They decided to talk about it years later. Boy, that wife of his isn't aging very well. I never found her attractive at all. That thing always surprises me. You know, you look at these pro athletes. You ever see them dating anybody like that? Fuck no. These pro athletes have the best looking damn wives and girlfriends. God damn. All of them. Baseball, football, basketball. I mean, these fucking women are hot, man. But Bill Gates, that wife never looked that good to begin with. I think Jeff Bezos' first wife was better looking than this girlfriend. Way better looking. Kind of a plain Jane. You know, see, she feels guilty about getting all this money. She's giving it all away. Gave away $19 billion. Holy shit. God damn. Imagine if you just got involved with somebody with that kind of money. Fuck, they'd probably have me like doing like running on a hamster wheel or something. Eating fucking like niblets and shit if they asked me to. Probably totally run my life. Just every vice. God, just build me like a regular movie-sized theater to watch my own porn. I'm dreaming again. God. It'd be so great. Look at Sandra Bullock, man. Now, her plastic surgeries were pretty good. She looks pretty good for her age. But that's on camera and there's filters and those kind of things, so you never really know. I think so too. I think so too. But if you look back when she was young, she was good looking. But she's trying to like keep young looking. How can you be married to a guy with that kind of money and have a face like that? Will you explain that to me? But I'll bet she like just talks like she really knows how to ring those bells. He doesn't care. You can't tell me Jeff Bezos. He's kind of strange looking too. You'd think he'd get that crooked eye fixed. I mean, come on. You see people that getting head-ons. You know, they find their eyeballs like a half mile away from the accident, put them in, they don't look like that. How can he not get that one eye straightened out? He just looks like a fucking nerd. I mean, you can tell he's going to a fitness trainer and all that bullshit. He's trying to look as good as he can, but you can't tell me that old fucking nympho is satisfied sexually. No way. Absolutely not. God knows what she has to think of to get an orgasm. But to him, he finds that attractive. See, now he's old and he's got money and the wife had the kids. All the hard work's over. So now it's time to go out and have pure fun. He doesn't care what people think. Fuck no. I bet that sex is like 1,000 times better than he ever had with his wife, talking dirty. Fuck, for all we know, she pegs him. And a bunch of old Amazon bought rubber mattresses. You never know. They could be into some crazy ass shit. Because she's just not that good looking. She's just not. Looks like a male to female. I agree. I mean, she looks fucking trans. How can you be a billionaire and that be your girlfriend? I mean, I would be embarrassed to take her out, be seen with her. And here a billionaire has her living with him. Yeah, I do. It wouldn't surprise me. Anybody that was going to those fucking parties is a pervert. All of them. But I think at the time it didn't really look as bad as it turned out to be. You know, you go there, you're on this private island, private jets, all this shit. You're eating king crab legs, $1,500 bottle of wine, fondue, all these hot looking chicks running around, grabbing your ass, fucking blowing kisses and shit. It must have just seemed like fucking paradise. And they didn't need to get underage girls. That fucking Epstein, that pervert. You could have had just as good a time with of-age women. But I find it hard to believe. Now, this is just guessing. That when you were over at one of those parties that you didn't know that fucking Epstein was a pedophile. I mean, they ended up getting rid of him, didn't they? He wasn't going to be telling anything to anybody, was he? All of a sudden, the camera's not working in the jail cell. Fuck. Of all the people that you need to keep from killing himself, it was him. And he does it anyway. Yeah, I think all those guys, there were tons of those people over there at those Epstein parties. But, you know, maybe there's a chance that when it came to those parties, there was a lot of young, good-looking women, but you didn't think they were underage. And then when the top came off the thing and you found out they were 17 and shit like that. Like there's a lady I know that works at a restaurant. She's in Bangkok. She's back there now visiting. She said they're just loaded over there in Thailand with women that are in their mid-30s that look 16. So you might have been thinking that shit. You know, who knows? And there's all sorts. Lawrence Taylor's an example. There's all sorts of guys that have gotten busted with women they had no idea were underage. That big, tall basketball player, that catfishing, it happens. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Terry. Yeah, I think so too. Bunch of perverts. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really wacky, man. I mean, that's real creeper. I think it is. I do. Well, I think I'm going to go to bed, you guys. Get up. Appreciate you guys coming on and chatting. It's been a while. Thank you. It's fun. So, Bruce, you have a good night. Lucid, Terry, Callie, Stephanie. Are you missing anybody out there? Lucid, you party on. Jeff, good to get on and rehash some of these things. Yeah, thank you. It was fun. You guys got any topics you'd like to talk a rogue? Thank you. You guys got any good topics you'd like to talk about down the road? Well, I'll bring them up, believe me. Let's get down to the brass tacks on these things. Questions, you can ask them philosophically so we don't think they're pertaining to you. You can type them in anonymously. Have a good night, Terry. Thank you. Steph, you night. Stephanie's going to get her big 15-inch French tickler out now, thinking about me. He's told me not to tell. Good night, Stephanie. All right, you guys have a good day tomorrow. Party on. All right. Yeah. All right, take it easy. Good night.